Hello. Yeah, so we are back. Sorry for the very lengthy wait, but literally I tried Half-Assed, I've tried Limitless Draco, Konami, almost the whole grid tried to make a lobby and invite people, but no one could invite. Until Half-Assed finally got it sorted. So yeah, hopefully we will be starting in a few minutes time, but yeah. Just for another run through of fast facts. 14 corners, high speed profile, high speed performance, medium traction profile, low grip profile, low braking profile, low tire deg profile, high track evolution rates, toughest corner, final chicane, SC and VSC probability both sit at 67%. Pit stop time in race trim is 18 to 19, whereas under VSC it is very much decreased to about 10 or so seconds. Well, yeah, we will hopefully be going back underway in a minute, but it looks like it's 35%. No, not 35%, so 50%. So yeah, events about to get back started. Yeah. What else can I say? Just being a mess. The original lobby host left, so the whole that server crashed, which is fun. Well, 5 red lights. Finally. And away we go here in Canada. Kaname gets a decent start. He's on the hards. It's a good run into turn 1 and it's safely through he goes. It's a slightly different story to the last attempt. But yeah, it's Marco still in P2. DJ Death Dragon still flying after him like a madman. But, however, there are some on medium, some on the soft, so we will hopefully see that all pan out over time. As there's your compounds being used by drivers at the moment, most on the hards, but the odd 3 of the 12 on the mediums here, as they should really be racy. As you can see, Falstaff doing a mirror overtake to what he done lap 1 in the first attempt, but gets it done before the hairpin is even like approached by the drivers. So yeah. Anyways, down into the chicane, and DJ Death Dragon, just like last time out, he's ahead of Marco before the chicane. As this time we see Kartoffee having a moment. He went off. We saw him massively snap there as Kaname. He leads on to his second lap, but how long is it going to last? Of course, that's why he's fastest so far. He was the first man to cross the line to start lap 2, so naturally he is the fastest, but that can all change. As now through the middle sector they go. And up to the final sector now. It's currently looking half decent for Kaname's bid to lead into lap 3, but is DJ Death Dragon going to overtake into the final 2 corners? He's got DRS, he's alongside, and that's kind of the rest of the story, ain't it? Because once you're alongside with DRS, it's yours. So yeah, that's happened. But on to lap 3 we go. DJ Death Dragon, now it's time to drop the ball with Kaname, as there's 32 more laps of this. The further ahead you can get, the better for your sake. terms of everything really. So yeah, he's dropping ball quite efficiently. Purple sector 1 now going for it. He knows if he wins this race, he is put in a very decent looking position for the drivers. If I'm correct, he should be second, maybe even first after this result. So yeah, let's see if he can hold on to his lead which he gained last lap. But Fireball Lex, down the inside of Lex, has a little wobble on the apex and goes into the Mercedes, pushing him slightly wider, but that's got him through into P4. As we can see, just by DJ Death Dragon, he's got no battery, whereas Kaname has it all. So it's really contrasting game in what's being played. But there's DJ Death Dragon just leading the pack away now. As the longer he can do this, the better his odds are in the long run. As the Aston continues to lead through the first sector. And now, through the middle they go. Of course, Kartoffee and Sese not really in this race. They're just figments of yours and mine imaginations. They aren't actually real, so don't pay attention. Just pay attention to this beauty unravelling. Aston versus Alpine versus McLaren over the race win. At the moment, at least, we could see likes of Red Bull or Mercedes approach this scenario as the race unravels. Yeah, who knows? As there's Marco down the inside, but doesn't get past DJ Death Dragon, who did of course lose the place to Kaname. As currently this race for first keeps unravelling. It's gonna just elongate as the event goes through really, across the whole field. So yeah. There's DJ Death Dragon now down into third, but he fights back. And now they both have DRS, and Kaname who's leading. So it's a drag race between them. And a question who will overtake. Neither of them actually overtake Kaname, as Lex has reasserted himself into the top 4 here, as Marco just not close enough to overtake DJ Death Dragon this time around. And now, yeah, you can tell I'm tired, but commitment, you know. Yeah, I'm here for shits and giggles. Yeah. But anyways, for those who are watching, you're on lap 6 of 35 here. We are far from the end, but for the medium runners, I'd say you're fairly close to the end of your stint. I'd give it another 10 laps at most, as most of this race will be done on the hards. But there was 2 Red Bulls wheel to wheel, which I wouldn't personally do. I think team orders got involved there, as they're both getting a bit dicey behind the rear end of the Mercedes of Lex, who is trying to push himself up the championship standing, being only a few points behind Marco here, as we can just see the little snake from 4th down to 9th, as there's Fireball Lex. He was briefly alongside Lex. DRS now in play. He's gonna look for it, but will he? No, he won't. He stays calm-headed is the best way to put it. Maybe not, as he's gone pelting it down the inside of Lex. A few laps ago, he made a mistake on the apex and hit Lex in process of overtaking. But now, he's got DRS, he's got that dosage, which will allow him to pull away. And now, Lex is vulnerable. Is he going to fall even further back, as it was a double detection point? So it's double danger for Lex, as this time round he doesn't get screwed over by it and he stays put. In P5 as Fireball Lex, massive snap of oversteer on the exit of turn 1. Very, very risky indeed. But yeah, you see Ali Hader getting very close to all there in amongst this train, really trying to get out of dirty air where possible. Big approach now for the McLaren, as the Lex eyes up regaining P4. Will he do it though? DRS in use now. He's gaining. It's not enough though. He will have to use the second dosage in order to do it, and I think he's been given a head start as Fireball X makes a mistake out of the final corner. As yeah, he is now on his hunt to get back into top 4 here. There are 2 main races, then a bunch of stranglers around the circuit. As there was the other Red Bull getting a bit dicey. But yeah, look up by all of those in top, well, 4th and 5th. As now DRS in play once more. Is Lex going to do it this time around on Fireball Lex? I hope so. As there's Ali Hader alongside her Fastaff. It's going to go 2x2 into the corner, but single file out of it. As it looks like Limitless Draco, he's a dark horse here. He's now alongside Fastaff, and he's almost ahead. And he's going to keep it fighting through the first 2 corners of the lap. He's still alongside. He's got a slightly better exit, but more traction by Fastaff just pulls him ahead, and Spinala King even overtakes. So even though he was a dark horse in that mini fight, he shouldn't have done it. And now Marco, we're back to the leaders, as he's got very, very close behind the back of Konami. You can just see how close the McLaren is. As the Alpine looks up, I mean not McLaren. And now down there you can see the rear rings opening. Konami using battery. McLaren's alongside. McLaren's now ahead. The Aston, however, just dragging himself along in the slipstream. Not close enough to overtake, as Konami got very close to the Board of Champions. He's already a champion in the elite division, so I wouldn't fault him if he was to hit it. As is it going to be the second Alpine to see their exit of the race tonight? Who knows? As they say, 3 more seconds for track limits. Yeah, a few too many in my eyes, but yeah. As Kartoffee, his bids in this race are nil as well. But no one said there can't be a safety car, and no one says there will. But 67% says it's quite likely, as there's Spinala King up into P7 as Fastaff almost spins it in his own magical way, and as a result, Limitless Draco, he's moved himself up a place. Fireball X, he's now with DRS on Lex. This just looks like a little Olympic cycling contest, them just swapping places down the same place, and in a way mutualistically working together to push themselves up the field. As a fair bit's gone down in WERL, which is another league I'm in for commentary. But yeah, Fastaff, he's the first in on the mediums. DJ Death Dragon, he's slightly losing to the two ahead, which you can see quite clearly on the onboard. Plus a special guest of Sese in the Sauber, as Fastaff leaves the pit in 10th. And it looks like it's a big chance for an undercut. But only downfall is 24 laps or so on a set of hards. As Marco DRS on Koname, is he going to take the lead here? He won in Bahrain, and he will take the lead here. Will he make it 2-2 though, is the question. He won in San Marino. He's on pace to win here today, if he plays it all right, however. As behind us we have Lex defending Fireball X, who gets a bit leery on the brakes, kisses the back end of the Mercedes, as there's Sese ghosting, as he now gets lapped all the way down to 8th, as Fastaff cuts the corner blatantly. Fastaff 3 seconds, he's joined the hype train at the back over penalty, same as Ali Haider in all fairness. So it looks like we will see quite a few victims of track limits in this race. So bear with me, it's going to be another one like Imola, where the race is determined on track limits. As Lex down the inside of Fireball X, he's also going to get DRS. Fireball X has a wobble, and there's Spinala King alongside the Williams, but not, well, Spinala King's the Williams, as it's 3 wide. Ali Haider's ended up slamming into the wall after making contact between Lex and Fireball X as they continue on. But now, by the looks of it, the Red Bull and McLaren in this fight both share some damage, as Fireball X dropping down. He's into 8th now, behind Limitless Draco, and have no assistance of DRS to help. As you can see, that Ali Haider, he looks okay in terms of wing damage. I think it's more side pod which ran off. If not, then it was the Red Bull which accumulated damage in the process. As Kartoffee, 3-second time penalty for again multiple warnings here, as Sese gets a further 3. As there's a yellow flag, Rumax has found himself round. He's got back away quite quickly, unlike Micromash did in the previous stream. Spinala King, he's in a good place. He's got a fairly good line on the exit, but less traction than Ali Haider on the hards. To be fair, they're both on hard, so that shouldn't really mean much. It's just about racing line. As Ali Haider promotes himself into P4, now it's time to defend, as he's got DRS just to help pull himself away. X has a slipstream though on Spinala King, as Alex almost dropping the car behind the McLaren could have led to a fairly messy moment. As Fireball X, he's on the mediums, he's got 20 laps on him, unless it's a 2-stop, which is a very risky strategy in my eyes, but it's executable. And then also I did miss out, Wumax has gone in, he's on the hards now from the mediums. But yeah, DJ Death Dragon, he's in a really good place if you wanted to pit for hards. He can go longer and have better tyres. As there's again Lex getting a bit wobbly in the hairpin. We've seen that quite a bit in this race. First with Fireball X, now with Lex. As is there going to be a move? There's a yellow flag in the chicane as Kartoffee, he's getting back underway. He had a little spin there. As there's Lex to the inside of Ali Hayder, and he will move himself back up into P4, reasserting his dominance in this race. As half the grid has penalties, he is leading out of all of those with penalties, but should be dropping to about third in that race after he's pitted, as he has approximately 20 seconds to a fast half. As we haven't really paid too much love and attention to this fight, but it's still going, and DJ Death Dragon is still in the background. He's in a very risky point though. He is looking at possibly losing the back end a bit. As there's a yellow flag, it's Sese. They've gone off where Massa went off in about 2017, I think it was, as he's missing front wing. He's going to be trying to navigate his way back to the pits, as he's locked up again. If he crashes, I'm pretty sure it'll be a safety car, as Kartoffee has even lapped him now. He's just there 4 points. As the Sauber getting closer and closer to reaching his demise. Round the hairpin. And yeah, looks like Sese will safely make it back to the pits. I am going to quickly turn off my phone so I can stop getting notifications by Same League, which has their season finale as we speak. But Spinala King, he's now getting a good run on the exit. Ali Hayder could be at risk, but a bigger risk is Lex. He doesn't have the RS. Sese's on the softs. He's gone, yeah, 2-stop. That's my strat. As he is now 2 laps down from the lead bunch. So, yeah, that's his race safely assumed to be over. As he's even came out amongst this fight over P4. DJ Death Dragon knows he is out of the RS range from Marco, so he is probably going to pit in a lap or so. As it's 17 laps, he safely got to the midway stage of this race on a set of mediums. Half of the race to do on hards is a really good shout. As Alex has actually got away from Spinala King. As I say, even more penalties. Common trend here today. As just to see, he's on 24 seconds on lap 18. That's over a second a lap being awarded. Most then Fireball X and FS lap, and then Lex on 3, Ali Hayder and Kartoffee on 6. As into the pits goes DJ Death Dragon, as I did say earlier this lap, 17 laps. He's on the softs, however, so it does look like it's a 2-stopper in this race, because I would have gone for hards and took it to the end. Or is it because there's rain forecast? If so, then he's just trying to get to the rain, which could be the fact I haven't filtered in yet. Which could actually make this a very spicy Canadian GP. As quite a few have actually gone for the softer compound at start, and then those on the harder compounds, they're still running. If Marco and Konami drive this right, they could possibly go one stop for inters and go to the end. If it does go to inters, is the question. If it doesn't go inters, then they may want to go mediums, and then like so Fireball X and DJ Death Dragon, who's basically begged for 2-stopper, they aren't going to see too much out of it. As Konami, he's losing about 6-7 temps in Sector 1 alone from his personal best. Just shows how much the tyres have worn down in these 20 odd laps, as we are rapidly approaching 15 to go, as it will literally be next lap. And I'll be honest, this is probably where the race dies down a bit. We won't see too much overtaking, as cars probably, if they are pitting, they won't be pitting now, so then they can push up to the line. And I'd say Marco and Konami will want to pit now, because if they don't, and it doesn't rain wet enough, they'll have to pit. And then DJ Death Dragon, he'll probably have to pit again, to be fair. But if he doesn't, he's in a really good position. But what I am unaware of, if rain does hit, what lap will it hit? Because softs, I'd give them 8 laps, then they're rubbish at this circuit. So, do they think it's gonna hit around lap 27? If not, then DJ Death Dragon may have picked the wrong tyres. He should have been better off on the hards. As the Alpine, now DRS, on Marco, who sees the McLaren pull to the outside, and he's gone before even the Rolex bridge, as Kartoffee is about to be a lap down here. As we stay on board with this battle for a while longer, for a wee bit longer, as we just wait to see if one of the 2 leaders pit. But clearly, based off their pace, they don't seem to be. But that clip with the wall from Konami, first mistake I've seen on his behalf, could be getting close. So yeah, I want to say that's a DSQ. Yeah, it is for Sese, as he has now left the session. Blue flags for Kartoffee, who has swiftly got out of the way of the 2 leaders, who power on for another lap. Is going to be in lap 23. Lex, who's also in this title fight with his own teammate who's in P5, they'll probably want to stay out as long as the leaders do. But then there will be a point where the tyres just go. If that happens, then we could be in for a treat. As DJ Death Dragon is slowly but surely shimmying his way up to the field. You can see on his onboard them clear as day, as he is about to creep within a second of them. If he wants to go to the end, on basis it doesn't rain heavy enough, he will have to start nurturing these tyres, about 12 more laps on them until the end. I don't think they'll make it, but I'm up to see if he can make it. Yellow flags for Kartoffee, who has found his car round. And now we are with these guys just up the road from him, as Spinala King has overtaken 4P3. As talking about that, they are now on lap 24 here in Canada and still haven't pitted. And I'll be honest, the weather doesn't look like it's changing much. So yeah, we are slowly getting there today. Marco, however, he regains the lead. Bear with us about another 15 minutes and it should be done. But yeah, 11 more laps of this. As there's Ali Hayder overtaking Limitless Draco. Into P5 goes the McLaren. And look who's right behind him now. DJ Death Dragon. You can see just on Limitless Draco's POV as Ali Hayder lets them both by, which is a very interesting choice. As it's bigger and bigger question marks as the laps tick by as to when these guys will be pitting, as the rain is getting a bit too late to go to inters and have too big of an impact. As Marco, he's now behind Kaname, who has a snap of oversteer right next to the Wall of Champions, getting riskier and riskier every single lap. But we are probably hitting the climax of this race. As the tyres hit their peak, will they pop? Or will they just make it to the rain? But then even if they make it to the rain, it's not going to be hard enough. I'm honestly telling you guys now, the rain probably will not be hard enough if it hits today. As their faster, he's overtaking his teammate. They know that based off the way this race is going, their shots are near enough nil. So their fights with each other, as when the fight over third actually pit, they will be ahead, and that should be a great result for Red Bull in the longevity of it. Who's got DRS? It is Spinala King, who just cruises by on Lex, then weaves straight across him. As there's Death Dragon down the inside, up into P5 goes the Aston. He is of course racing to get track position over Kaname and Marco, and the longer he's in this group, the further back they get from the leaders. As there is now 8 laps of this race to go, which just shows how absurdly amazing these drivers are, nurturing these set of hards. 26 laps. Oh, I'm sorry, but one of them has to pit by now. But the pace, it's so mature and so consistent. I don't think they will. As Kartoffee, he has actually possibly got enough debris off his car to cause a safety car, but no, he's missing most of his front wing. And now he goes back underway. as there's Spinner King and Lex. They go another lap, but I see Ali Hayder. Ali Hayder pits here in Canada. He's gone enough is enough. And then look, Fireball X and their Fastaff come through final two corners now. Ali Hayder, he's on softs, he's gonna go flying after him. But look at how far ahead they will be by the time Ali Hayder leaves the pits fully. It's gonna be a good 6 odd seconds. But then that's Ali Hayder's message that it's not gonna go too wet. But then you can see the rain, it started chucking it by the looks of it. It went from barely hitting to hitting fairly, like, adequately is the best way to put it, as the Red Bulls still fight, as Ali Hayder only 3 seconds off them, showing they haven't really been able to capitalise on this. But then that will probably mean Marco and Konami pitting, only 3 seconds off DJ Death Dragon, whose softs effect is really dying with his hopes of winning. As they all go on to lap 29. And Fastaff overtakes his teammate. They keep dueling, as it's actually raining now. So, are they going to go for inters? DJ Death Dragon, 3-second time penalty. When the leaders pit, they should be within 3 seconds when it comes to the line. So, I'm sorry Death Dragon, but that's your race on a silver plate. It's gone. As these two, still going at it. If one doesn't pit this lap, they are mentally ill and insane. Drivers, if they are listening, they're probably pissing themselves laughing, as they both stay out. So yeah, do we have a mental asylum in store? Maybe somewhere in Montreal that we can lock them away, but yeah. Yeah, Spinner King, he powers on. So do the rest of them. You can see that it's raining. You can even notice based off how the cars are driving, as there's a Limitless Draco. He moves up into P5 here. But there's a switchback opportunity by Death Dragon. Ali Hayder 3 seconds for multiple warnings. He's actually overtaken these two Red Bulls and now pulling away on his own charge. As Marco, he's actually 1.6 now off Konami. He's really been hit heavy by the change in weather, is the best way to put it. Maybe a sign of setup balance. Konami may have slightly altered it towards the inters, as Marco's pitted. What does he go for though? I think softs. Let's see. It's inters. It's the green wall tyres. Out he comes on the inter. Spinner King, he's on hards. Into the pits goes the Lex and DJ Death Dragon. They've all gone for the inters by the looks of it. It's too wet. Inters for Lex, inters for Death Dragon. He could have stayed out and gambled it, but no. As in comes Fireball X, as a Fastaff looks like he went off for a little outing. But that means Marco, he's gonna make it 2-2 here. He won in San Marino. He's gonna win again in Canada, because look at it, he's just catching Limitless Draco and Spinner King. This is Konami's calling to pit. Look at how far off he is at the end of middle sector. 4 seconds into the pits he goes. It's a race now. Who comes out first? Konami or Marco? He's in his box. He's now on his way out. There's Marco. There's Kaname. There's Marco. He's up into turn 1. Kaname on his way out of the pits now. They are going to come out wheel to wheel. Kaname, he's just ahead. The Alpine just played it to perfection. He's let Marco catch a second over that lap. But that second didn't matter. Because Marco, he is now ahead. Ali Hayder, he's on soft. He's going to the end on him. But look at how slow and how skittish he is on him. Spinala King, he's gaining tenths, seconds a corner. And now look at how close he is. You can just see Ali Hayder's rear end not having any of it. And there he goes. And now there's Limitless Draco and DJ Death Dragon. DJ Death Dragon thoroughly deserved the podium here, but he played strat wrong. He could have gone mediums and then stayed out and try and defend 12 seconds. But there's Ali Hayder dropping another 2 places for a lack of grip. But despite all that, Marco versus Kaname. It's been a fight going on all race. DRS is still in play with intermediates on. It probably will stay in play for the remainder of this race. The moment it goes, whoever's the leading is safe to assume he'll win. But they both have similar battery levels. So, for 2.5 laps now. 1 lap tyre delta in favour of Kaname. Intermediates. Who will win? Alpine versus McLaren. Marco versus Kaname. Who will it be to come home on top step? Will it be Marco, who's done it 2 times this season before, even last race? He's down the inside, in the hairpin, he's gone deep. Kaname goes through, and it's 1 point to Kaname for now. He's 1 more defensive move, and he's got DRS as well. That's a good chance to pull away, even if it's only 2 temps. It's pulling away. DRS has been disabled, so that's perfect timing for Kaname. Didn't let Marco have any utility of it, as Kartoffee into the pits, 10 seconds with it, slapped round the head with it. Not looking too pretty. And now it's a fight of pure pace, pure skill. It's either the Alpine or the McLaren. I've got my money on Kaname. Look at how much he is pulling away. You just see the gap is extending between these 2. Marco just not being able to stay as close now without DRS. He's struggling down this straight now. He's hardly gaining on Kaname, whereas he would stay right up behind him through there. And that should safely be the win for the Alpine. As Remax, he's still on hards, which is a lovely sight to see. That one driver, he's had the balls to finish the race on dries, even though it's clearly wet. And Kaname, it's pure pace really this race now. So that's why he is now a second clear. You can just see that wiggle by Marco, it's gonna put him out of a second. There's the second. Lex versus Spinala King, however, onto the final lap they go. Looks like it's gonna be Kaname who wins. As there's yellows, it's Limitless Draco, who's had a moment in the final corner. He's hit the wall of champions, it looks like. And now that basically releases DJ Death Dragon. He can relax a bit. As Marco, he's also had a moment. He's dropped off 3.5 seconds to Kaname. Make it 4 now. He's really limping. No puncture though. It's just something's gone wrong. And that's led to the dissipation of his race. Through the hairpin for the final time here in Canada goes Kaname. However, I have to give even more credit to this man. He is even crazier than the leaders were doing 28, 29 laps on a set of hards. He's driving on hards in the wet, but what is he doing? Answer is letting Kaname by, so he doesn't have to do another lap. Kaname will win in Canada. He stops Marco from going 2-2. He stops Marco claiming his third win of the season. It will be Kaname taking one today. As Lex, he hangs off on Spinala King. It was relentless defence, and Lex well deserved P3. Spinala King 4th. DJ Death Dragon, however, due to penalties, he bags a podium. And then Limitless Draco at the final corner, up to the line. Rumax has retired and left the session. He wasn't allowed to finish at the end of that lap, but Limitless Draco, he's 6th. Fireball X 7th, Ali Hader 8th. Heffastaff, he's gonna come home P9. And there we go. Rumax P10, Kartoffee in 11th, Zese in 12th. But yeah, that is a really decent race. As per always, I loved commentating this. To be fair, this league never gets boring. There's never the same winner week after week. It's always someone new, but then it tends to be same few names. But that just keeps it interesting. It really builds up a story dynamic of the title fight. This is probably Kaname's rise to go for the title. But anyways, there's the three spraying the champagne. They were fighting over first before DJ Death Dragon pitted. But to round it off, Kaname wins in a demanding drive. He had to fight, but he managed to get there. Marco P2, DJ Death Dragon in P3, Lex 4th, Spinala King 5th, Limitless Draco 6th, Fireball X 7th, Ali Hader 8th, Heffastaff 9th, Rumax 10th, Kartoffee 11th, and then Zese. He was disqualified in the first half, but that's racing for you. Hope you all enjoyed. I'll see you all probably tomorrow with a video. Goodbye.